Namaste friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Yogi Aaron. I'm a muscle specialist and master yoga teacher. And today I want to talk to you about how to fix your tight psoas permanently. Now, why are people suffering from a tight psoas? Well, one of the number one culprits is sitting. Anytime we sit for a long time, a few things happen. One, we start to bring the psoas passively into a shortened state, and that's not a really good thing. Number two, because we're bringing that psoas passively into a shortened state for an extended period of time, it starts to lose its ability to contract and contract on demand. And that is a really bad thing because the psoas is one of the most important muscles in the body, responsible for maintaining this lordotic curve in the lumbar spine. So you can always see that the lumbar spine has this beautiful kind of C curve that's called a lordotic curve. And one of the main jobs of the psoas, it has many jobs, but one of the jobs is to maintain the stability of that lordotic curve. What happens when you don't have that lordotic curve, that beautiful C curve starts to go away, and then you become open and vulnerable to disc herniation. And disc herniation causes a lot of pain. So we need to restore that lordotic curve. That's one thing to start working on. But another important thing to work on is also activating that psoas. So I'm going to show you a few techniques on how to do that. One of the things that's really important to also understand is this whole kind of myth around getting, having to stretch out a tight psoas. And there's a lot of videos. You can probably find a zillion videos on YouTube on how to quote unquote release a psoas. The problem with that idea is that those people that release the psoas, it's a temporary fix. It's not a permanent fix because you've never dealt with the actual problem. And the problem is that psoas is not working properly. But the other issue is that we also have to deal with the opposite muscle of the psoas. So muscles always work in pairs. You have, for example, with the biceps, if the bicep contracts, the tricep relaxes. And in order for the tricep to relax, the bicep has to be engaged. And likewise, if the tricep is engaged, the bicep relaxes. So there's always this agonist and antagonist relationship between different muscles. So in terms of the psoas, the opposite muscle, and there's a few, but one of the big ones is the glutes. So the glutes are the agonist to the psoas. That means that when the glutes are contracting properly, the psoas should relax. So a lot of people that may complain about a tight psoas, and whether or not it's tight, that's a whole other discussion. but a lot of those people that are complaining about a tight psoas, probably their glutes are not working properly. So the goal then is to get the glutes working and the psoas working in tandem because they are muscles that mirror each other. And it's also worthwhile mentioning that these two muscles are two of the key stabilizers in the hips and lower back. If these muscles are not working, you're going to have back pain. And probably if you're watching this video, you are probably suffering from some kind of hip pain and or back pain. Chances are. So, having said that, let's just come into a couple of drills that we can start to implement to engage both of these muscles. One of the very first simplest exercises that I would like to invite you to do, and you can just do this, such a simple exercise, you've probably seen variations of this before, is do this before you work out, go for a run, go do any kind of exercise, especially before you do yoga. And very, very, very simple. You just come and stand. Now, one of the functions of psoas is that it's a hip flexor. And a hip flexor simply means that those muscles that bring the leg closer to the torso. Okay, so we're acting in flexion. That's any time you bring the leg up. So guess what? That's all you have to do is start to bring the leg up. So come onto your right toes just for a moment. and then start to lift that leg up. Now, you can lift it up as high as you want. If you just want to lift it here, that's fine. You can probably sense that psoas is starting to engage. If you want to bring it up a little bit higher, nothing wrong with that. Just don't lean back or lean forward. Really keep your body as erect as possible and slowly lower down. Now, I know that there's all of these kind of movements. Sometimes fitness trainers have their people do these very fast movements. That does really bupkis in terms of muscle activation. Wherever we're doing intentional muscle activation, we want to move pretty slow. I wouldn't say as slow as possible, but you definitely want to slow down the movement, because that's what's going to start really kind of stimulating this gamma motor neuron co-activation, which basically means that the muscles start stimulating these neurons that send messages to the central nervous system saying, hey, we're here, we need to contract, please help us contract. And then the central nervous system sends back a message and says, okay, contract, contract, contract. So that's kind of like what we're doing here. So let's do it again. Lift the leg up and just hold it there for a moment, and then slowly lower down. And do it again. So we'll just do it 3 times on each side, just to kind of start to get that psoas working properly, okay? And these are ways that you can start to fix a tight psoas permanently, just by starting to slowly activate those muscles, reconnect those muscles to the brain. One of the reasons why they're tightened up is because they're not connected properly to the brain. Tight muscles are always a protective mechanism by the body to maintain stability. So when the body senses instability, it begins to tighten up. And that's not how we want to move through life. Okay, so we did that little exercise, very, very, very simple. We're going to kind of repeat it a little bit now onto our backs, okay? So coming onto our back, what I'd like you to do, keep both knees bent here. And just on the right side, we'll just do it on the right side, and then after this video, if you want to do it on the left side, you can. But this is a little technique to begin to kind of in your mind start to feel where the psoas is and what it should feel like when it activates. So you're going to find your navel center, your belly button, and then find the right pelvic bone. And sort of in the middle of that space, you're going to kind of come in for a moment and then just lift your right foot a little bit off the ground. Now, do you feel that muscle kind of, sticking out a little bit or poking out? That is the psoas. And then lower down. Good. And then do it again. And you feel it engaging. It's engaging because it's lifting the leg up off the ground. That's a really good thing. And so this is another technique that you can start to feel the psoas. And part of the AYAMA philosophy, the applied yoga anatomy and muscle activation philosophy, is to bring anatomy alive in your mental awareness, in your conscious awareness, to make the anatomy more experiential. So what I'd like you to do is to have that experience of the psoas engaging and feel it engaging as you go through a different range of motion. So let's just test the psoas first and see how strong it is. Bring your left hand, straighten your legs, and bring your left hand to your left pelvic bone. Externally rotate the right leg. Bring the right leg to the right about 20-30 degrees. And then I want you just to lift that leg up. Now, is it heavy? Does it feel strong? Are you lifting your left pelvic bone off the ground to try and compensate to lift that leg up? Okay, so are you recruiting other muscles, or is your whole body just completely still as you lift that leg up? Okay, so what we're going to do now is activate that psoas and just kind of feel what it's like when that psoas is activated. So bend your knees like you would for bridge pose. Bring your right ankle across your left knee. Now, if you want to kind of feel into your psoas again on that right side, just do that. Just kind of bring your fingers in. Bring your left hand towards your knee. Now, don't reach up to the knee. Just bring it towards the knee. And then what you're going to do is bring the knee to the heel of your hands, okay? And all you're going to do now is press the knee into the hand. Do you feel your psoas popping out? Mine is. Mine is really engaging right now. You don't have to press too hard. You know, one of the philosophies of AYAMA is that less is more. And relax. And then do it again. Very good. And then relax. And do it again. And relax. And do it again. And relax. And do it again. And relax, and do it again. And relax. And one more time. So you're pressing the knee into the hand here. And as you're doing that, you're bringing the psoas into a shortened state isometrically, and you're doing it for a short period of time. And you're doing that to, again, stimulate that connection, those gamma motor neurons that are sending messages to the central nervous system saying, hey, we're here, we're ready to contract, and then the central nervous system sends back a message saying contract, contract, contract. Of course, this all happens at lightning speed in the body, so it just doesn't take that long. What you're going to do now is straighten the legs, externally rotate the right leg, bring it out about 20-30 degrees, and then lift it up. Does that feel different? That's what it's like to have a strong psoas. So if you want to, let's just do those leg lifts 3 times just to kind of reinforce the strength of that muscle. So externally rotate the right leg and then bring it out about 20-30 degrees and lift that leg up and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and come back down. And then do it again. Bring the leg out, lift the leg up, and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come back down. And if your fingers are still in that right psoas, you can feel it engaging there. Externally rotate the right leg, bring the leg out a bit, and then lift it up. Very good. And then back down. Really nice. So we'll just do the right leg for now, and then afterwards you can do the other side if you wish, okay? So what I'd like you to do now is to roll over. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that the glutes are also working. Now there's many ways that we can engage the glutes, but this is one of my favorite exercises because it just works so well. So if you're suffering from a tight psoas, chances are that your glutes are also not working. And when I say chances are, I mean like 100% chance that your glutes are kind of dead in the water, and we need to kind of add some battery cables to them to kickstart them back into working. And so when we're doing isometric contractions, that's kind of what we're doing. We're jump starting our glutes to be able to work more effectively, all right? So what you're gonna do is bring your hands underneath your shoulders, let your forehead rest on the ground, and then bend your knee of the glute that you want to start working. Now I'd like to bring my other hand behind and just kind of feel that glute engage, and then lift the knee off the ground. Now one of the things that you don't want to do here is lift that pelvic bone up. You want to keep this pelvic bone of that leg that's lifting down, and then lift the leg up as high as you can, and then lower it back down. And then bend the knee, engage the glutes, and lift it up. Now if you have a tight psoas, like I said, your glutes are probably not working. And my suggestion is do these exercises every single day. And this is how you will permanently begin to fix your tight psoas problems. Okay, bend the knee, engage the glute, lift up the leg. One of the things that you'll notice as you're doing this is that it gets easier and easier because the muscles start connecting to the brain. That gamma motor neuron coactivation is working, and there's this communication system now between the brain and the muscle that is working, and now your muscles are able to function better. Bend the knee, engage and lift. Really try to squeeze that glute as you're doing it as well. And then come back down. Bend the knee, engage the glute, and lift up. And then come back down. Really nice. Let's come on back onto our backs. We're going to finish here with one other exercise, which I just love to do. So one of the things that we need to do is also simultaneously start to strengthen the glutes. So once you've done that leg lift and you've activated the glutes, you feel like you want a little bit more glute workout, if you will. It's a very simple practice or exercise that you can do, and it's kind of following the basic premise of isometric contractions, but we're going to start doing more of them in less time. So our goal is to do 20 plus reps of bridge poses, and as we do them, we're going to hold it each time for 2 seconds. Okay, in this way we're going to start to also strengthen the glutes. So this is a wonderful practice. Now we're just going to do 20 today just to show you, but ideally you want to work up to 20 to 30. Do that every day. And if you're ambitious and feel like you want more, you can do like 3 reps or 3 sets of 20 reps or something like that. You can decide what you want to do. I've done as many as 100. So you can decide what is best for you. But for today, we'll just do 20. So what you're going to do is bring your arms out to the sides. Bring your feet about hip distance apart. Oh, Destiny. Hey girl, you want to do some bridge with me? No? You're going to just stay there and rest. Okay. You rest up. And so squeeze the glutes. Lift up as high as you can. And just hold 1, 2, and down. And again, squeeze the glutes, lift up. Press into the heels of the feet. Hold 1, 2, and down. And lift up. Hold 1, 2, and down. And then lift up. Really press into the heels of the feet. Lift up as high as you can. And then come on down. And then lift up. And come on down. And lift up. Really squeeze the glutes here. And come on down. And then lift up. Press into the heels of the feet. Squeeze the glutes. And then come on down. And press up. And come on down. Ooh, that feels nice. And come on up. And come on down. 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 And come on up. Final 5. And come on down. You feel your glutes working? Come on up. And come on down. Come on up. And come on down. Come on up. And come on down. And come on up. And come on down. Wonderful. Now stand up and go back into your life and notice how having glutes and psoas really support your body and support the movements that you do. If you're the person that has a desk job and you sit a lot, this is one of the #1 culprits that begins to shut down glutes and shut down psoas. So it's your job to really kind of counteract that by doing these different muscle activations. A couple of tips: do these practices every morning before you go to work, so that way you go to work stronger and are able to withstand the sitting that you're doing all day. Another little tip is every 25 minutes, just kind of stand up, walk to the water cooler or get a drink of water. Do those kind of leg raises that I was showing you earlier when you're standing and lifting the knees up towards your chest. Really try to maintain that erect spine as you're doing that practice. If you do these simple little principles, you're never going to have to deal with tight psoas again. And you're going to feel a lot stronger in your body. You're going to feel more supported. And most importantly, you're also going to not have any pain in your body. And you can start to live your best life. Namaste, my friends. Enjoy and happy practicing.